How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more Brawl. I think I did Historic Brawl last video. I probably did. But we're playing Anafenza today. Anafenza. One of the only commanders that I've actually seen out in the wild. And, I don't think she's particularly powerful, but, like, people are playing her. So that's a vote in her confidence, right? The other one I've seen out in the wild is Narset, and, Narset is Narset, man. Like, we expect to see a Narset happen. So whenever she attacks, we gotta put a +1/+1 on counter on a tapped creature we control. There are some interesting caveats there. So she has to attack, and there has to be another creature, preferably attacking with her, or that enters the battlefield tapped, something like that, right? Still, 4/4 for 3 mana, fairly reasonable, right? Like, it's not bad stats. It's very good stats. Fortunately, we're gonna have to kill off our legendary creatures at some point. I guess we enter the battlefield tapped. We technically have 8 power, although they have Cascade, which is inherently a very powerful ability. Luckily, it didn't work with Metallic Mimic, but it does work with the Mist Watch. The 2-drop hit is always the one that you have to worry about in the Sliver deck. Because it always has the shot of hitting the red-white sliver that gives them flying and haste, and that one is just busted. First strike, so it doesn't matter. Uh, uh, let's thin our deck a bit. Get this one and this one. And no block. We still can't block a first sliver. We can block almost anything else, though. No 2-drop, please. 3-drop. It's not a 2-drop, but it is redundancy for first strike. This one I will just take it. So actually, I think we kill the non-legends. Do you have a counterspell opponent? All non-legendary creatures, please. You can choose both. That is fun. Death Touch will be key here. Although it doesn't matter. I say it's key, it does not matter. Oh, goodness. Our opponent has been hitting poorly. So, like, that is a saving grace. So next we could play Chromatic Orrery. Ouch. think do we attack here? Anafenza myself. Oh god. And I'm just dead now. That was a punt. That was a very bad punt. Scam Scoop. They have it in hand. Cloud Shredder Sliver. Ugh. But the arena just crashed a while ago. As those of you who watched yesterday's video might key in on, I was a little worried about stability, and I have not been focusing as much as I should on gameplay. That is a very reasonable excuse that I'm going to hide behind. Keep. I can't play my commander very quickly, but I can get an Ajani out very quickly, which should be as good as my commander, or slightly better. I can really get Lampard out. I think we pay full price. Johnny shouldn't die here, but he definitely could. I don't have to spend their turn doing it, though. Which I guess they're more than happy to do. I didn't know he was so scary. We'll blank damage for a turn. And that way, if we don't draw a land next turn, we have a safety valve. We didn't draw a land. I need to go black. The reason I need to go black is so that I can cancel. Is so that I can actually cast the Gix's command. Rude. Guess we eat the Satyr's Cunning. Just to deny its existence. And then next turn, we pray that Gix's command stabilizes. Okay. This actually works out really well. Or does it? It does. It's not. Things are hard, man. We nearly got the Steamkin too. But its wording is red spell. Why make sense when you can make red spell? I'm glad our opponent is mana screwed, because if they weren't, we would be sad. Aww. Cannot do both. Can I do both this way? Nope. Colorless mana is a drag. With our blackness too is a problem. Just gonna make a target and pray I get another chance. Alright, well now we are officially behind on lands. My opponent's just gonna go for the kill. Do respect that decision a bit. We haven't drawn off one ring really at all. Maybe that would have been key to our continued success. That's just death. Because if he had just attacked, we would have just died. We're going to do a game 2. Or game 3. Game 3, unfortunately. That is a bad sign. I don't know. I think Anafenza is a good commander, actually. Generally, a 3-mana 4/4 should be one of the earlier creatures on the board. If you're not in an aggro matchup, like, that will probably be one of the earliest creatures to come down. However, for some reason, we can only find aggro. But I guess Enchantress isn't really aggro, but me and my opponent both were not very confident in the matchup, apparently. So we got one. It was a very short concede match, but we still acquired a victory. Let's see if we can get another game in. I think we can. Although, it did take a while to get there, didn't it? Ooh, Scarab God. And we're up against the Archduke. Keep. I'd like to do skills on 2, so I guess we're going to start with this. 4 is good, but I probably need a 4th mana source. I'm about to say we have to put on the serious. I'll take Fabled Passage. I can get Vorinclex off the bottom of my deck, which is something I'd like because he is relatively powerful compared to the other cards in our deck. We're also in line for Invoke Justice, which is very nice. Counterspell opponent. Essence Scatter. Well, that's not what you want to see. You have a lefter there for Invoke Justice, but then if the Invoke Justice is countered, we are very sad. Probably want a second black source, if I'm being fair. Gonna have a second green source in the bushlands. Roach could be a way to close up the game. We have no creatures, so Unbreakable Formation serves no purpose. Play your commander, opponent. Okay, that's fair enough. I just wanted to approach the second side anyways. It's a way to win the game. And And against our control-based opponent, we have to pursue as many outlets of winning the game as possible. Although they're putting up some zombie tribal stuff, so maybe they're not hard control, they just have a couple of early game disruption counter spells to keep things going. Let's ECD the clock, and we'll end her off there. Primal Vigor is very bad right now because it works for both players, and our opponent is amassing. We could put some +1/+1 counters on a Fabled Passage. Be fun. Let's clear out the zombies. Unfortunately, ECD is no Eldritch Reborn, so he can't take a zombie from our opponent, but what can you do? Nykthos. So let's get an Anafenza. And let's do this to get rid of the Scarab God. I am 4 turns off my... What do you call it even? Approach of the Second Sun. I know what it's called. I just looked at it, but it immediately escaped my mind. Lord of the Accursed? Nope. Phil Stinger. Boy is back. Nobody I dislike more than Clockboy. Not true, but he is on the list of people that I don't like many things about. We probably won't get counterspelled next turn. That's a plus. We also just don't have anything to do. Two turns off. Where are my creatures at? We haven't drawn many cards though, so I guess that's to be expected, but we should have more creatures than we have seen. We were running very high on lands and not high on mana rocks, but we found a Wrath. Nah, I'll take the 3. I don't really care about that. Draw a card. Let's just have another blocker, I think. If I survive, I probably win. I guess I don't, right? Because there are too many zombies. This is gonna be rough. Yes, only one of them is actually a zombie. Two of them are a zombie. Three of them are a zombie? Three of them are a zombie. Did they find the counterspell, though? They need a counterspell. They have not found a counterspell. They may have found a counterspell. Rude. Just dead. If they just attack with everything, I am just dead. GG, opponent. You figured it out. I'll let you cast your spells. Get your attacks up. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.